Hey guys, welcome to Project Metal Music's YouTube channel with your host El Young. And we are here with GT Filthy of the band Filthy Filthy. So, welcome, GT.
Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So, could you tell people who you are and what you do within the band?
Yeah, I'm GT. I play rhythm guitar and I sing in Filthy Filthy.
Cool, cool. So, let's dive into some questions. As a kid, what were you listening to?
Right, well, kids. Let's start with the youngest kids then, but shall we? Well, I was kind of like I brought up listening to music in the '70s, and for us it was a lot of kind of like the glam rocky type stuff, Sweet, Slade, Kiss, Bay City Rollers, all that kind of stuff. You know, good tunes, really, good real tunes. So that was kind of like the first thing, and then I suppose after then it was watching Top of the Pops, and you kind of like seeing some of the punk and the new wave stuff coming through. And I always remember a big turning point for me was there was two bands I remember seeing on Top of the Pops. And I'm thinking, yeah, I want to get into listen to a little bit more of this. And that was the first time I had the Ramones on there, and also the first time I had Stiff Little Fingers on there. And that was a massive turning point for me. And that kind of like got me listening to a lot more the punky type stuff. Now, because of my age, I was never kind of really into the first wave of punk stuff. It was more the second wave stuff and the new wave stuff that came through. But the more you listen to that new wave stuff, then that'd get you listening to some of the older stuff as well. So you're listening to stuff like, Slaughter the Dogs, you're listening to the Vibrators, you're listening to the Boys and all that kind of stuff. And for me, that was like, that was the bit I really got into, and it really just kind of like grabbed me, I suppose, really, and got my attention, got my energies. So that was kind of it when I sort of like when I was kind of like I suppose like school age, really. But I suppose you say what was listened to when you were a kid. When do you stop being a kid, Al?
Yeah.
Really. And I've always been, like I say, I've always been to music. I've always like trying to find new bands and stuff like, the Wild Arts, the Yo-Yos, Booze and Glory, Jim Jones, all these kind of stuff. It's kind of like, it's just rock and roll music, isn't it? It's good fun rock and roll music. And that's what I like, really. That's the kind of stuff I'm into.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. Because we're sort of like similar in age. I grew up in the '70s and listened to like the Sex Pistols, the Plasmatics and stuff, bands like that. And I was like, yeah, so yeah, it was like all good fun times in the like, especially in the late '70s and early '80s.
Yeah, yeah. But again, like I said, it really was just good rock and roll music. It was played raw, it was played fast, but it was good rock and roll music, and that's what I like. I like a good melody, something you want to jump up and down to, really. Something you want to sing along the choruses to. That's all I'm bothered about, really. There's too much serious in the world, and we've got to have a bit of fun, haven't we?
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a bit of fun.
No.
So, who basically got you into music?
Well, that's a good question. My dad always played musical instruments. He played an organ, he had an accordion as well, and stuff like that. So we always had music in the house. But again, I suppose when you see something on the TV or you hear something, it just, I don't know, it kind of like it just resonates with you, and it makes you think, I really fancy having a go at that. And that's what I did, Again, you listen to those things, you see the people playing the guitar, around, you see people playing the drums, you just think, I really want to have a go at that, don't you? And I suppose, like I just said, with watching things like the Ramones and watching stuff like Stiff Little Fingers, those are two massive things, watching them two on telly and thinking, I want to have a go at it. So I suppose, really, having music in the house, and then also by the fact that you watch these things and it gives you some kind of inspiration, then that makes you want to start playing, doesn't it? I mean, I've played all sorts. I suppose when you get into music, I think everybody's changed around with their instruments, haven't they, from time to time? I started off playing the drums. I learned the drums first, and I was in a band at school, and we used to rehearse at school after school. We used to take all our instruments in and rehearse in the dining hall. So we did that, and then after that, we was I went over to playing the bass guitar. I played the bass guitar and double bass for years. I played in a few rockabilly bands playing double bass, and played obviously the bass guitar for quite a long while. And then when we put this band together, it was really a case of, I knew what I wanted to do, and it was a case of I could either play guitar or I could play bass. But I always knew that I kind of like wanted to sing with this band. I've sang in a couple of bands before, but not for quite a lot of years. And I thought, because the direction we wanted it to go in, or I wanted it to go in, I thought I want to do the vocals, or at least have a go at doing it, see if I can pull it off. And then, like I say, I'll play the guitar or I'll play bass, depending on what we need for the band. And it just so happened that when we were advertising for quite a while to find the right people. And then when we got somebody, I found a bass player. So I thought, right, okay, I'll go and play rhythm guitar on it, which is what I did. I'd already kind of like written a few songs, and I'd done them on a guitar anyway, so I could kind of like bash a few chords out on a guitar. So that was kind of it, really. So I suppose three things that I've got to blame for it. I've got to blame my dad, I've got to blame Stiff Little Fingers, and I've got to blame the Ramones. That's what got me into playing.
So was it?
It could be worse.
Yeah. So was it really your dad who actually said really pushed you to become a musician, or was it just like sort of like a natural?
It wasn't really pushed me, I suppose. It was just a case of no one pushed me, but when I showed an interest in it, he just said, "Well, why don't we get you some lessons?" And at the time, he got me a drum tune. Because we're talking about when we were kids. There wasn't this internet to have a look at, was there? That's it. You had to go and buy a book and try and work it out from there, didn't you? So, he got me a drum tutor, and I had some drum lessons, and it kind of started there, really. And then, like I said, at some point along the lines, I thought, drums aren't for me. There's too much carrying around of heavy stuff. I'll go and have a go playing the bass guitar. So I went and had a go at that, and did that for a few years. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you were in some previous bands before Filthy Filthy. Yeah, could you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, it's going back. I mean, it goes back to when I was at school. Really, what was our band? I can't remember what the band at school was called. Really, but they were kind of like a standard, kind of like rock band, a bit kind of like Kissy, I suppose. But obviously, nowhere near as good because we were like 13. I can't remember what that band was called then now. But anyway, then I was in a band called the Kicks, and we had the Kicks was going for quite a long while, sort of like Round Hole, and that was kind of like, imagine something that's kind of like a cross between Early Jam and Johnny Thunders, that kind of thing. So that was that. It was quite raw. It was a 3-piece, but we had some good fun with that. Then I was in a band with Tim, who's in Filthy Filthy. I was in a band called Nowhere Fast. With Tim, we did a few gigs with them. That was kind of like along that Harry Roxy kind of glam rocky, 80s glam rock kind of stuff, because we was well into that at that point in time. Then we did a band called, I think it was a dodgy name, it was called Okalogi, and it was kind of like a bit of a 90s rap metal band. And I was in that with in front of my wife, Lisa, she was drumming in that. And my brother-in-law, he played bass in it as well. So we did that. Then just trying to think. I was back in with another band with Tim, like an acoustic band called Two Skulls, and that one was Tim doing the singing, I was doing backing. He was on acoustic guitar, and I was on my double bass. So again, we did a few gigs, and we did an album with that as well. Then what did I do after that? I played with a guy called Ted Keefe for a little bit. Ted was one of the original House Martins, the House Martins from Hull. Ted was the original bass player in the House Martins. And I did some stuff with Ted for a little bit. Again, we used acoustic guitar, and I was playing double bass. Then after that, I was in a couple of rockabilly bands, just sort of like doing covers with my double bass. So we did that for a little bit. Then I did a couple of gigs depping in a band called Last Great Dreamers. Again, just some guys that I knew from the music scene, and they were playing. They had a couple of gigs booked in one weekend, and they didn't have anybody in for it. One of them was Cambridge Rock Festival, so I did a bit of work with them for a bit. And then kind of like alongside all of that, really, certainly sort of like the last sort of 3 bands-ish anyway, I had this vision of what I wanted to do with this other band, this kind of like punky rock and roll band, I suppose. Again, thinking about like bands like the Yo-Yos and that kind of thing. And I've always, and kind of, I suppose I was like, planning Filthy Filthy, or what it could potentially be, or what whatever was going to call it at that point in time, probably for those last three bands. And I remember having ads out in the local music shops to try to find like-minded musicians for quite a long while before I actually got anything together. And then when we finally did get everything together, then all our energies gone into getting Filthy Filthy up and running, really. Did I answer that? Did I answer that in a roundabout way? Wasn't a politician on there for about 10 minutes. Not really answering anything of it, didn't I?
Yeah. So, what has the band been up to? Come to like sort of like the present day type of thing. What has Filthy Filthy been up to?
Well, I'm trying to think. We're kind of like we've been together for in our current lineup for about 4 years, I think it is now, or about 4 years. But obviously, within that 4 years, we've had a pandemic, haven't we? We've had illness within the band, so people have been in hospital and all that kind of stuff. But we've really, really sort of like hit, I think, the live side of things big style. We'll literally play wherever we can to get an audience, because I think for us within the band, we love playing live. Do you know what I mean? We like going and recording. It's great to have the record, and we're really pleased that we've got the CD out there. But we absolutely love playing live. We think that's probably where we're at our best. I think we put across a real sort of like high energy show. We have a laugh while we're on stage, but hopefully it's tight, So it sounds. But you've been along, you've been it, haven't you? So,
yeah, I was going to say it was 16th of January. We had at the Black Bull. Yeah, he was, yeah, and I can contest. The band is high energy. If you go see Filthy Filthy, they are brilliant. They are brilliant live. So yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we had lockdowns, and we had, like I say, we were a bit of illness in the band. But kind of like since the lockdown, I mean, since lockdown eased, which was in May time, I think, wasn't it? May of last year. We've had some great gigs, we've just played Bannerman's up in Scotland with another band from the Northeast. In fact, two other bands from the Northeast, Logos, who were Ashington way on. They're fantastic. Another band called Not Now Norman. So we played Bannerman's. It was absolutely rocking that night. That was last Friday. We've had some fantastic support slots since lockdown finished. We've played with Big Country a couple of times. We've played with the Ramonas. We've played with Spirit Destiny. Played with the Wild Arts. Played with Dr. Feelgood. We've had a couple of real good gigs with the Hot Rockets, who we're also going to be at Rock Union, when that kicks off. So they're coming down for that. Ming City Rockers, Zero Tolerance. We've played at the Waterloo. We had a real good sort of like play this. It was the Punk Boot Picnic, it was called. It was the Waterloo in Blackpool. Had a cracking day there. Met some great mates there. We played Butlins Alternative Music Festival. That was absolutely brilliant to be there for the weekend. And hopefully we're going to be going back there next year again as well. So, we've had some really, really good times over these last, since lockdown finished, since May time. We've had some cracking gigs. And we're kind of like averaging, I suppose, about 2 to 3 a month, something like that, usually, gig-wise. So, we're getting around a bit. And like I say, we're going all over the place, really. So that's been good. And say Butlins was an absolute high. It was fantastic to play on such a big stage to such a big crowd. Felt privileged for that, really. Obviously, we've had the album out now. The album came out at the beginning of December, and that's been going really well. We've had some good reviews, sold a few copies of it. If anybody's listening tonight, they want to get a copy of it, have a look on Bandcamp, have a look at the Filthy Filthy Facebook page, and you can get it from there. It was reviewed in Vive La Rock. Our bass player Alex always said, if I ever get in Vive La Rock, that's it. I'm going to retire. Well, he's done it now, so don't leave yet. Don't leave just yet, Al. So I get the album. It was great. It was a massive achievement for us. There's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of financial commitment from the band. We've got it out. We're getting money back from it. So that's always decent. And to get that review in Vive La Rock was great as well. So that kind of like takes us to where we are now already, I suppose.
Yeah. So the future time now. What is the band up to?
Yeah. we've got a load of gigs. I'm just going to have a look now so I can tell you what they are, so I don't miss them all out. We've got quite a few gigs booked in. We've also got we're writing all the time. As a band, we're writing all the time. So obviously we've got the album done. We've got the album out. We've got stuff now that's being written. Some stuff which is we've actually put in the set already, which is new stuff. And the idea being is that we can kind of like filter it in, see what people think about it, so that we can start to get stuff ready for the next recording, whatever that is. When we were up at Bannerman's up in Scotland, we had a guy who came in and did a load of videoing for us. So that video is all going to be edited, and we are going to be releasing a video for another one of the tracks on the album. So we've got that that's going to be coming out within the next couple of months, something like that. Our next gig for us, we had a cancellation actually. The February gig that we had got cancelled. So the next one we've got is in March, and that's supporting Johnny Moped. So again, one of those original bands that came out of the Roxy in London, really. Johnny Moped. I mean, Johnny Moped's original lineup, I think it had Chrissy Hine and Captain Sensible both in it at that point in time. So we're playing with Johnny Moped at the Adelphi in Hull on the 12th of March. And again, we've got Hot Rockets, who were mentioned earlier. They're coming down and playing that gig as well. So we've got that one. Then after that, then we're going to the Cornwall Punk Festival. And that's a cracking lineup, that Cornwall Punk Festival. It's a 3-day punk festival on holiday camp in Lewes in Cornwall. That's going to be great fun. We've got Unlike Hanrath here on there. We've got the Godfathers that are playing there. We've got Glenn Matlock obviously from the Pistols. We've got Duncan Reid and the Big Heads. And for me, that's great. I mean, the Sunday night when we're playing, it's got Duncan Reid and the Big Heads and Glenn Matlock from the Pistols. So I mean, I'm an absolute massive Boys fan. I love the Boys. Their first album, Alternative Chaps, was just one of my favourite albums of all time. So to have Duncan on the bill and also Glenn Matlock from the Pistols on the same night we're playing, that's it. As far as I'm concerned, that's job done almost. So that's going to be a cracking week. We've got that. Then after that, we're playing with. After that one, first of all, we've got that's when the opening night for Rock Union is. After that, then after that, we're playing with the UK Subs in Grimsby, and again, that's with Suburban Toys, who you mentioned earlier, another Grimsby-based band called the Dead Dads. That's going to be a bit of fun because they're both good fun groups, as you know. You've seen Suburban Toys, haven't you?
Yeah.
After that, we've got a couple of months off because we've got Alex is going to become a dad, so we're going to have a couple of months off on the live stuff so they can get all things in order there and what have you. And then we're playing back out with Duncan Reid and Big Heads again in June. July sees us play Leicester, Newcastle potentially twice, and another one I've forgotten about. We've got another one there. Oh, Colville, the Waterloo Bikers Pub in Colville. So that's in July. August, although I can't say anything specifically, we've just secured something that's pretty cool in August, but I can't say what or where at the moment. But it's Blackpool way on. And then that takes us through into September when we're playing at the Dublin Castle in Camden, which is going to be great. That's our first London gig, that one. And we're playing with the ska band again, called the Decatones. So that's being built as sort of like a punk ska night down in Camden. So that's going to be good fun. And then that takes us then back to Butlins, which we are, fingers crossed, we're going to be appearing at again. That's kind of our timeline, really, and hopefully within all that time as well, we're going to be releasing some new material as well. We don't know yet at the moment whether that's going to be a new album yet or whether it might be an EP at the moment. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, one of my subscribers and one of my moderators has asked, Sebastian from South Africa, will you be touring outside the UK?
At the moment, we've got no plans to, and that's purely financial. We'd love to. Obviously, we've all got a day job as well. It'd be really, really nice if we could make it work. At the moment, we can't make that work, unfortunately. So at the moment, I'm just going to have to say no, but would love to. I'm sure one day this massive great record contract's going to come along, and we can all quit our day job and then we'll be on tour. We'll come and see you.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you are writing some new material.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about that? How far you're on with it?
We've got Tim's kind of like our main sort of like source of new songs at the moment. Sort of when you look at the stuff that we've done historically, it's kind of like half been my stuff and half been Tim's, but Tim's knocking out loads of new ideas at the moment. So we've got one which we have is fully complete and is in the set, and that's a great song as well. Very much. Can you remember a band called Three Colours Red? It was round about
Yes.
sort of about 2000. It's along that kind of vibe, really. It's a really, really funny song, but it does remind me kind of like Three Colours Red. So we've got that one. We've got loads of other ones that we're just kind of like working on and finishing off and getting the arrangement right and all that kind of stuff, really. So there's things there. There's things that are in the pipeline that we're just, like I say, we're working on. Again, because we've got this situation with drummers. Danny's our main drummer, obviously. Well, Danny's our drummer, but he can't do the Cornwall thing. So we're having to bring in a good mate of mine who I've been in bands with in the past, a guy called Shep. Well, Shep's going to be drumming for us down in Cornwall. So it just means that our February rehearsals are probably going to be like getting Shep up to speed and probably less so much about getting more new songs done. But then obviously once we've got Cornwall out of the way, then we'll be back onto getting stuff written and what have you, getting it arranged and getting it into a situation that we're happy to record it or stick it in the set.
Yeah. You did say something about adding some of the new songs to the set. How's that going? How's the reviews been going with it being?
Yeah, we've got this song, this one that's like the double one that's along the line, Three Colours Reddish. Trying just a little too hard. And we played that when you was there that night. Seems to be going well. People seem to like it. It's a good song. It's a real good. It's got a good. It's like everything else to do. It's got a good vibe to it. It's got a good chorus. People want to sing it. Hopefully, people want to dance to it. That's all we can ask for it.
Yeah. So, what's wait? I know this is a bit far out, sort of like timescale wise, but any ideas on how to get the album or even an EP sorted out? Or is it going to be like later in the year type of thing?
Yeah, it'll be later in the year, I should think. It'll be later in the year, like I say. The album's only just come out now. Really, it came out in December. So we've only had a couple of months of the album being out there now, really. So if it's an album, it's going to take a bit longer. If we do it as a four-track EP, it's going to be a little bit sooner. So we'll just have to see how we go, really. At the moment, we haven't really got any kind of like set timelines. We haven't sort of said we want to have this done by then. We're just going to see how we go, really. Obviously, we've got this situation where we need to take a couple of months out because of Al becoming a dad, to make it fair there. We'll play it by ear. And when it's ready, it'll be ready. If you know what I mean. It's one of them, really, Al.
Yeah. So, where can people find Filthy Filthy? Have you got a website? You said something about Bandcamp and Facebook.
Yeah, we've got a website. We've got Bandcamp. We've got Facebook. We've got Twitter. We've got what's the other one? Instagram. We've got Instagram as well. Apparently, Alex has our Instagram, man. We don't because we just don't. But yeah, there's loads of stuff on the Facebook. And if you look on the Facebook, you'll see the links on there to Bandcamp. You'll see the links on there to our YouTube channel as well, which has got videos on. It's got live stuff on there. It's got the video on there for when we released. Obviously, the album's called Getting Away With It. So the title track for the album, Getting Away With It, there's a video on there that's all like animated and quite cool, really, that we got a guy to do for us. So yeah, it's all on there, really. So we've got a website you can put on there, Filthy Filthy Punk, on the internet in your search engines, and you'll see it on there. And it's got links on there to merch, to videos, to live dates. It's all on there, really.
Yeah, cool. So this is probably the last question from me, unless the viewers got any questions. My last question is: any advice for people who want to become a musician?
Ooh. I think the biggest thing is just have fun. Yeah. You know, there's too much seriousness going on, isn't there? And I think if you don't have fun in anything that you do, it's not worth having. It's not worth doing it, really. So I'd say to anybody, just have fun and do what you want to do. Really, you'll go to some. If you might decide that you're going to go and have lessons, and you'll probably get taught in a style that you don't particularly want or anything. So you've just got to do what seems right for you, I think. And whether you want to, if you want to be the next sort of like virtuoso, then you need to have a different mindset than maybe than us in this band. For us in this band, like I said, it's all about having fun and going and enjoying yourself. If you want to be a virtuoso, if you want to make an absolute fortune from what you're doing, you maybe need a little bit of a different mindset. So I suppose you've got to do what's right for you when you're learning, haven't you? When you're learning your instruments. But for me, it's just got to be about having fun. Really.
Yeah, like I said before, you've got to have a little bit of fun in life. Anyway, JT, thank you so much for coming on and that's just talking to us. So it's very much appreciated.
Hey, it's been great to speak to you. Great to see you. It was like I say, it was great to see you at the gig as well when you come down to Blackpool. Like we said before, it's a cracking little venue. That if anybody's listening and has never been down to the Blackpool and Gates, get yourself there. They have some great nights on there, absolutely great nights on there. And Maz and Sheva are running the top people as well. So it was great to see you there. It was great to speak to you tonight, and hopefully we'll see you again soon, buddy.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to get you back on when you do that EPO album.
Yeah, sure, that'd be great. Well, obviously we'll keep in touch, and we can certainly sort that out. Can't we? Maybe next time we'll get the other lads on as well.
Oh yeah, that'll be great. That'll be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, JT, for coming on and talking to us.
Take care. All right. See you soon.
You too.
Cheers, buddy.